What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and today I thought I'd give you guys an update on my free-to-play account. This is a 2-week-old account, and so far these are the characters that I have acquired. Now, every day you want to make sure that you are clicking on the path of agent here, doing everything that they tell you to do. I try to do all this every single day. Try to play as many game modes as you can. I don't want to reiterate a lot of the things that I've already talked about in previous videos because today's focus is actually showing some world boss clears on a 2-week-old account. And it is going to be with these three and Captain America and Icarus for the clears. Now, I only did 4 today because actually in World Boss, I had to do a clear on normal here to unlock call. So I had to use up one of my World Boss clears, so I could only do 4 actually World Boss Ultimate clears against Proxima. But these are the cards that I have right now. And as you look at my card effects, guys, I mean, I just got 19% ignore defense. I have 25% cooldown, which isn't bad. I mean, whenever you have a good cooldown leadership, a 24% cooldown leadership, that's going to give you about 50% cooldown, which is the max cooldown, which is terrific. So for every single character that you're going to have on a brand new account with a brand new alliance, you're going to be able to max out your cooldown. And that's very important so you could rotate through your skills more often. It also helps you to keep procs where they belong, because the way that some procs work is some procs will reactivate every 10 seconds. Some procs will reactivate every 7 seconds. And sometimes when you got cooldowns on your skills, like say I use a fist skill and I hit it's on a 7-second cooldown. I land the proc on the fifth skill, 7 seconds goes by, I come back around, I do the fifth skill again, and then I can keep the proc where it belongs if I have max cooldown. If I don't have max cooldown, then things start getting thrown off and it actually decreases your survivability, because if you have a 5-second immunity on one skill and you have very low cooldown on your cards, then you're not going to be able to rotate through your skills as often. It's going to decrease your survivability, which is not good, my friends. I only have 6% all attack. My attack speed is actually quite high, 22%. It's actually a good attack speed, but really what's more important is ignore defense and cooldown. Those are the most important things. Now, on a free-to-play account, a new account like this with a very new alliance, having that 25% cooldown is a very, very good sweet spot to be if you're using cooldown leaderships, which I will show you. I'll show you the leaderships that I'm actually using. But just a little quick tidbit about cards is I have this card here. Cards that you equip in the very beginning of the game, the cards that got the cooldown and the orange stats, those orange stats never change. So you always want to keep upgrading these cards, because the more stars that you have, they go up to 6 stars, the more stats you actually gain. So if I upgrade this card, and you definitely want to make sure that the cards that you're equipping here don't have any good stats that you want to keep, but I can upgrade this card, right? And I just added a little bit more cooldown. I just added a little bit more attack, right? I got the critical damage and attack speed, and it's a quality 6. So now my card effects are actually a little bit better. Now we have 28% cooldown, and now we have an extra 3% all attack. And that's very, very important, right? You know, you're increasing a little bit more damage. Now, the runs you're going to see are with the card sets that I just previously had, but that's just a little tidbit for you. Cards that don't have cooldown in the orange stats, but say you get cooldown in the blue, you want to stop at the blue. So, for example, this card right here, I have the orange stats there, ignore defense and attack speed, but a blue stat is cooldown. I will not upgrade this card again. The same for this card. I will not upgrade it. I'm going to keep the cooldown where it is, and then I'll go back to here, and I'll try to, this will be the next card that I upgrade because I don't have cooldown on it yet. Let's see here. So we do have a cooldown option here in the second one. So when I get cooldown on this, I'll probably stop and I'll probably start working on some other cards. You always want to start with cooldown and then go into ignore defense. Now, as far as skill cooldown not strikers, but leaderships that you want to use, it's definitely going to be War Tiger, Clea, Agent 13 there, and Iron Man. Now you get Iron Man in the very beginning of the game completely for free, and you can actually just select War Tiger as far as a selector in the game. I actually got Clea from the store chest, this chest right in here. Click on here, and this hero chest right here. So I click on this. Let's see who we get today. Okay, so I got Ultron, which can be a decent leadership, right? But that's where I got Clea. But these characters have a nice leadership that decreases skill cooldown by 24%. And with that 24% plus the cooldown that I have from my cards, I'm going to have max skill cooldown on my characters so I can rotate through my skills more often. Now, as far as my damage dealers, I mentioned a long time ago that Scarlet Spider is an amazing character, and he's the first character I chose with my selector. It's really him or Cersei are the two best characters to choose for your selector in the very beginning of this game. And I want you to look at these builds. Now, look at my physical attack, 8,700. We have low critical damage, low critical rate. Critical damage can be maxed out at 200%. The critical rate can actually be maxed out at 75%. Terrible, terrible. And then, but my cooldown is at 36%, and with a 24% cooldown leadership, that's going to give me 50% cooldown. Nothing else. There's nothing special about these builds. I haven't even leveled up their skills. I haven't even leveled up these things, which can be a benefit. I have no ISO 8 sets on these characters. And then for Scarlet Spider, I just have a little critical damage with 110% proc. And this is a proc that actually resets every 10 seconds. Whereas when you start getting into 5-star and 6-star obelisks, they'll start resetting every 7 seconds, which I will show you. And there's no uniform, which is another benefit of Scarlet Spider. Now, Black Widow, you actually get in the game for free. I actually had her at tier 2 the very first day I played the game. But we have 10,000 physical attack. We have, almost max attack speed's at 130%. Her crit rate's kind of low. Our critical damage is 179%, which isn't bad. Ignore defense is terrible at 19%. And then we have, the cooldown is going to be good enough. We have no Urus. Her skills aren't even freaking leveled up, guys. And sometimes it's really best to level up skills, especially if they have like attack buffs or buffs that buff up their all defense. Those are skills you definitely want to level up, but I'm trying to conserve as much gold and resources as I can. I'm also trying to avoid buying any uniforms. I am waiting. I want to clear World Boss Ultimate without buying any uniforms, and so far, so good. I'm doing very well with that. I have no ISO 8 sets. I just got one ISO here equipped because it was one of the requirements I had to do for the Path of Agent. And as far as her obelisk, now this is an obelisk that has the cooldown of 7 seconds, so its proc actually resets every 7 seconds. We got critical damage 120%. This is actually a decent obelisk, especially early on in the game. And then the uniform is just at normal. And the uniform you get completely for free. Vision here, after his rework, they really, really made him so much better. He's got 9,500 energy attack, but something about Vision you'll notice is he does a lot of physical damage based off energy attack. And he does have 122 attack speed, very low critical rate at 20, 156 critical damage, terrible, 22% ignore defense, terrible. Cooldown is going to be pretty much maxed out. And all of his gears are, well, at 20, of course, he's tier 2. And you have to use tier 2 characters against World Boss Ultimate. There's a massive penalty put against you if you don't. You won't do near as much damage. And his skills are at level 1. And, if I leveled some of these up, I think that I would get a little extra buff. So, like, this one here has damage accumulation based on how much damage you take. And if you level this thing up, you actually get a lot more damage. So it starts up at 1.5% for each 1% damage taken, but it goes up to 4% for each damage taken. I don't even have this leveled up, but if I did, I would do a lot more damage. We don't have an ISO 8 set, and we just have a critical damage with 110% damage proc and no uniform. This is his base kit, which is something that I'm trying to strive in the game. Now, I do have Icarus here. I'm going to actually use Icarus for call, but I actually am using him for PvP. He is a character that I am using religiously in PvP because that's where you're going to get a lot of your crystals. But Captain America here, I find that his damage isn't the greatest because he has this damage accumulation based on how much damage he takes. And that isn't good, my friends, because whenever you're facing Proxima, the world boss that we're going to be fighting today, if you're taking damage, you'll notice that you're going to be doing a frontal assault, and she has Pierce. So when you have like immunity like what he has, she can actually pierce through that and do damage to you. So you want to be in iframes, and an iframe is where you're in an invincibility frame, where you're not going to take any damage. They actually are not able to hit you unless they have some kind of mechanic that can hit you. Whenever you see purple attacks in the world boss, when you see little purple spheres on the ground, that's when they can actually hit you when you're in iframe. So you always want to run away from those skills. But yeah, that's something to keep in mind. So I had to do something a little bit different with Captain America in order to get the clear. And again, his skills aren't fully leveled up. No ISO 8 set. I mean, these are just bare minimum nothing builds. We do have an increased damage proc by 140% here, and just mind damage, which is useless form, and a normal ranked uniform. Icarus here, we're actually going to use him in the run you're going to see today, really just for his all defense down. I did level this skill up, so I would get the all defense down up to 50%, and this is going to weaken the defenses of the world boss that we're going to face, so we are able to do a lot more damage. Because because Captain America has to take damage and I don't have him built worth of crap, I'm actually kind of cheating a little bit and using this all defense down to be able to do more damage to Proxima. As you all will see, all of this other stuff doesn't matter. I'll probably do a separate video about Icarus. So let's go ahead and bring up the runs that I actually did. So something about Vision that's pretty awesome is he's an energy-based character, but he deals physical damage in this base kit. And so physical damage is what you want to have whenever you're facing this World Boss Ultimate. If you're using energy-based characters, you'll find you won't do as much damage because Proxima has a high decreased damage received from energy-based characters. When you're playing with Vision, always start with the third skill to get your damage accumulation, and then you want to try to absorb a little damage from her and then hit your fifth skill. Now I am using Shuri there. Shuri actually gives an extra 35% increased damage to super villains. Shuri could actually do this by herself, but I just decided to go ahead and use her with Vision because Vision needs to take damage. So he actually, because Proxima has Pierce, she pierces through his immunity and invincibility. So he actually takes a lot of damage. So the more damage I deal, the faster I deal the damage, the better. And that's why I got Shuri on this team. But guys, this is, you saw the cards that I have, 6% all attack. And we're already, able to do World Boss Ultimate. We're already clearing it. Just 2 weeks of gameplay in Marvel Future Fight. Really, you could do it faster, but I'm really trying to take my time and just build characters that I don't need uniforms for. I am trying to avoid buying any uniforms as much as possible because this is a free-to-play account. And I'm trying to play as conservative as I can. And there you go, guys. 1 minute and 11 seconds with Shuri's leadership. Vision was able to get it done, and I was able to get a combat book, and we're on our road to getting, all these resources, the EOD, the CCF there, the TCP, all these little resources that you're going to need to start leveling up other characters to tier 3, which is a level up beyond tier 2, which is going to make your characters a whole lot stronger. And that is amazing, guys. We're well on a good road to getting it done, and I'm very happy to see this amount of progress. We're going to just move this a little bit forward here. There we go. And now for the next run, we're going to be doing something a little bit with Captain America and Icarus. Now, again, we're going to start with Icarus. We're going to apply some all defense down. Icarus has that long iframe, but he applies that all defense down. And all defense down is, there's a little blue icon above Proxima's bar up there, and that's when it shows you're applying all defense down to her. Whenever that shows up, then I'm going to switch to Captain America, and I'm going to run through his skills. And yeah, you guys saw the damage, pretty freaking nutso. And really with Captain America, you just want to hit the 4 and then go into the 5. You can actually cancel the 4, get the residual damage from it, and then go into the 5. Very nice. Run around. We want to apply our all defense down. This is what I'm going to do with this team, is I'm just going back and forth. By the way, up in the top right hand next to the timer there, those characters are called strikers. And those characters, all the specific ones that I have, except for Thor there, actually increase damage to supervillains. And each one of those increased damage to supervillains by 10%. So I got an extra 40% increased damage to supervillains against this world boss. But Thor's just there for fun, to be perfectly honest. He's not really doing a whole lot for us. Yeah, Captain America. You guys, these builds that I have they're terrible, honestly. When you don't have ISO 8 sets and you got these low damage procs, and they're just terrible. Yet we're still able to get it done. And my cards they're bad too. They're not good. Low attack. Ignore defense could definitely be better. None of my characters have max ignore defense, which means I'm not going to be able to do as much damage to my opponents. But yet we're still able to tear this crap up. And this really is cool. And I got to tell you guys, as a free-to-play player in this game for 2 weeks now, It really is so satisfying to be able to do this and to see this. So amazing. By the way, I did try Sharon Rogers quite a bit. I mean, she does have some physical damage dealing skills, but I mean, you really, honestly, I'm finding with her that I'm going to need a heal. I definitely need a heal because she really needs to take damage. And the way she plays with her base kit, she just sits in front of Proxima, just takes way too much damage. But you can buy a uniform for her that's going to enable you to do a lot of damage to another world boss, which is probably what I'll make another video probably about that in the future. Oh, yeah. And now we're just finishing off with Icarus. You know, we actually lost Captain America. And this is the power of Icarus. Even though Proxima has high energy defense, and even though my Icarus isn't built worth a crap, nothing special about this character at all, just base minimum tier 2, still was able to get the clear. It did take, you know, a little over 2 minutes, but we were able to get it done. And check this out. I got another freaking blast book, which is awesome. Those blast books, when you get 10 of those things, that's whenever you're going to be able to take a character up to tier 3 amongst needing a bunch of other resources. So that's actually really amazing and really very lucky. So now we're going to be using Black Widow, and Black Widow can tear this up. Man, she is amazing in this uniform. Honestly, I think I undervalued this uniform big time. You know, you just hit the 4, go into the 3, and then go into the 5. I mean, she kind of jumps back whenever she does her third skill. It can be a bit annoying, but look at the damage that girl can put out. She has a lot of residual damage from the 4 and the third skill. And if you land the proc on the 5th skill, look at those bars. I mean, they just go flying down. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And then, of course, you know, we see some all defense down or all resistance down. I can't remember exactly which one it is. I think it's all resistance down. Let me see here. But no. She's getting it actually from a striker. That's Cersei or Icarus as a striker applying all defense down, which actually helps a little bit too, but not really that much, to be perfectly honest. Run around. Oh, yeah. Get it done. Look at her go. And she just melts the hell out of this thing, you know, just a little over a minute. Wow. It honestly really surprised me how well these characters are doing. And look, another book. 3 books today. That is so freaking fantastic. Wow. So cool. And now for Scarlet Spider. And this is the reason I told you guys that you should pick this guy for your selector right off the get-go. Watch how well he does against this. Because of his damage accumulation on the 3rd, the all defense down from the 4, watch him. I mean, say what? Look at that. Look at that power. That's 1 rotation. 2 rotations down to the almost 3rd bar. I mean, he's crazy. We'll do 3 rotations and get this clear with the cards that I have. Just ridiculous, guys. That is absolutely insane. The amount of power that he has. He's so crazy. And Cersei is the same way. I'm actually working on Cersei right now. I'm going to turn this off real quick for you guys. But I'm actually working on Cersei right now. I got her leveled up. All I need is to level her up to level 60. That's it. I just need to get this up to level 60, which is something that I'm going to be doing today because she's going to be a great character for Cole. So I'll be using her and Icarus for Cole. And whenever I buy that uniform for Sharon Rogers here, this uniform right here for gold, that's all I want to buy uniforms for is gold. I don't want to spend any crystals. You guys can see that I have 3,100 crystals. I am conserving as many of these things as I can, and because I know how Marvel Future Fight is. They bring in metas all the time. So by the time I would level up a character that's a meta right now, buy a uniform for a character that's a meta right now, more than likely by the time I get them leveled up, get them awakened, get them to the tier 3, then they won't be the meta no more. It'll be some other character. So I'm really playing this game very, very conservative, but I am trying to do all of the content in the game, trying to acquire as many materials as I can in the game. If you look at my inventory, I do have a mega tier 2 ticket, or 6-star ticket, which is going to be really useful for a character that is difficult to get. You know, we have a lot of custom gears, ISOs, the cars, but my material is really where it's at. And you guys can see that I am farming up quite a bit of Urus. You know, I got the 44 CCF from today, and I am, you know, I got 175 Mandalay gems. I got 1,400 of these cubes, which is going to help me for card crafting in the future. I actually did get this amazing Odin's blessing, so I'm really, you know, well on the road to doing very well on this free to play account. So let me know how you're all doing in the game. Let me know if you're a beginner and you're just starting out this game, and if you would like any help with anything. And I do stream on Twitch at Reset every day. The link will be in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See ya.